I think we're going to be talking about working, and so we need to be willing to work for other people and serve them. Here we go. When you see a friend in need, just lend a hand. Do a kindly little deed and lend a hand. Help your sister fix her hair. Show your friends you really care. You can do it anywhere. Just lend a hand. Lend a hand. Lend a hand. When you see a friend in need, lend a hand. Though it takes a little work, look around and stay alert. Go ahead, it doesn't hurt. Just lend a hand. Now that was kind of okay. Let's see if we can do any better on verse 2. If the carpet needs a sweeping, lend a hand. If the garbage starts a creeping, lend a hand. When the lawn is filled with leaves, when your brother starts to sneeze, pass the Kleenex if you please and lend a hand. Lend a hand. Lend a hand. When you see a friend in need, lend a hand. Though it takes a little work, look around and stay alert. Go ahead, it doesn't hurt, just lend a hand. Good job. Okay, show, you can all sit down. I have some questions here that you can make some points for your team. Don't answer without raising your hand. Here we go. What has NASA studied to develop gravity suits?
The Jurassic.
The giraffe. That's exactly right. Cheetah champs, you get some points. What about this one? What animal has excellent hearing? What animal has excellent hearing?
Elephant.
The elephant. Why do you think the elephant would have such excellent hearing? Yes, and according to the poster, their hearing is so good they can hear things a mile away.
Also, I have a fact about.
That's a long way away. Do you have a fact about what?
Giraffes. I have a fact about giraffes.
Okay.
So, you know those little bugs on their head?
Yeah?
You might think they're useless, but they actually use them to like protect themselves. And they will they'll grab under stuff and throw it. And also they have very powerful back legs. They
Wow.
can kick you very far.
Yep. God's an incredible creator,
Never
isn't
get
he?
behind a drum.
Okay, here we go. Here's your last one. What keeps a cheetah balanced when he's running? Who is that in the orange shirt? Elliot. What is
Tail.
his tail? Very good. Good job. Okay, so the cheetah champ's got 2 questions. The Mighty Monkey's got 1. Tomorrow, I promise you, all of the questions will have to do with the 5 days and the themes of the 5 days. So you might want to focus on those posters in the back of the room. That's just my hint for the day. Okay, you guys kind of sound like you've been saying there's a lion in the street and don't want to get out of bed. Anybody agree with me? So let's see if we can wake you up. Here we go. Stand up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. A sluggard slumbering snug in bed, tried raising up his sleepy head. How many of you have not gotten your head up yet this morning? He gazed across his sunlit room and saw the clock said 1/2 Did any of you have a lion outside your window this morning? I didn't think so. There's a lion in the street, I better stay in bed. There's a tiger on the roof, I better rest my head. The sheets are smooth, the day is tough, my pillow's soft and life is rough. Oh, how I love my sleep, and there's a lion in the street. Now, can you get up and work if you're lying in bed all day? No. Here we go. So listen up, get out of bed, and never be a sleepyhead. Our God has given much to do. We must work hard till life is through. Feet on the floor, give God your best. Work hard all day, then take your rest. Give all you've got while it is day, and never let me hear you say, there's a lion in the street, I better stay in bed. There's a tiger on the roof, I better rest your head. The sheets are smooth, the day is tough, my pillow's soft and life is rough. Oh, how I love my sleep, and there's a lion in the street. Yes, and there's a lion in the street. There we go. Well, what do you think Catherine's doing today? Who's your favorite person in the skit? That's Catherine? I know, you all love Catherine. Kind of bothers me that you don't like me. Oh, great! You're back. Mr. Kendall called and he's on his way over.
Awesome. I was hoping that he would come before we left for the mountain.
And where's everyone else?
Oh, well, we ran into some Maasai warriors in the village, and you know Storm and Rob, they got all excited. So I left them there, and Joseph brought me here. And well, I'm glad he did, because I wanted to be here when Mr. Kendall got here, because I'm not exactly anxious, I'm more eager to hear what he has to say.
Oh no, don't tell me he's rubbing off on you already.
Well, I don't know, but is everybody's gear packed?
Yes, we just finished loading everything, including the food and Catherine's shoes. So, how do you think they'll do on the climb?
Well, I think they'll do fine most of the way, but when that oxygen level drops as you go up the mountain, it gets a little bit harder. I just hope that I can make it. It's been a while since I've been up the mountain.
Oh, you'll do great. I know that. And by the way, you know what? Your devotions this morning, they were really great. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise. Who would have thought that you could learn something from an ant?
Well, God did, of course.
You know, I've always been a hard worker, so I've never thought of myself as a sluggard. But then when you talked about our relationship with God, it really got me thinking, maybe I am lazy sometimes.
Well, we really need to think about how much effort we're putting into our spiritual life, because you can't be a spiritual slugger and love God the way He wants us to.
Yeah, I see that now. Oh, here he is now.
Good morning, Camp Cowabungo.
Good morning.
And it's Camp Kilimanjaro, not Camp Cowabungo.
Really? When did you change it?
We didn't. It's always been Kilimanjaro.
You don't say. Well, it's a strange name, but I like it. And you know, all of a sudden it sounds kind of familiar.
Huh.
Like I've heard it.
Imagine that. I don't know why it would sound so familiar. Did you find anything?
Find anything? Oh, as a matter of fact, I did. I've been looking for this forever. Well, not exactly forever. More like since junior high.
What is it? A nickel?
Yes, but it's not just any nickel. It's my magic squirty nickel. You just fill it with water in the hole and squeeze. Ah, I did it again.
I'm very happy that you found your nickel, but I was wondering what you learned about the footprint.
What footprint? Oh, right, that footprint. What about it?
Well, don't you remember you were going to go and do some research and see what kind of creature would make such a very large footprint?
Oh, that must be what the pictures are for. It's on this handy-dandy laptop here. If I can just figure out how to turn it on. There we go.
So, are these pictures of possible suspects?
Ooh, man, it sounds like a murder mystery when you put it that way. Okay, here we go.
Last I checked, that's a goldfish.
More precisely, a Caratus oratus oratus.
But, Mr. Kendall, you can't suspect a goldfish made this footprint.
Of course not. As soon as I found out he'd been in his bulwark all week, I eliminated him. Well, I didn't exactly eliminate him. I just crossed him off my list. How about this one?
That's an ostrich, and it's large, but you really can't be serious here.
And from what I remember, an ostrich has 3 toes, and last I counted, this footprint has 6 toes.
Yep.
I didn't think of that. There goes another one. How about this one?
Oh, all right, an orangutan. That would make more sense. I think we're finally making progress.
It's not really an orangutan. It's my boss.
What?
Well, it's not really my boss. It's from our last year annual costume party. He sure fooled a lot of people with that one. Looks like he fooled you too.
Mr. Kendall, I'm really glad that you came by this morning, and we really want to thank you. I appreciate it.
But I've got a couple more.
Well, I think we've seen enough, and we really don't want to take up any more of your very valuable time.
Oh, that's very thoughtful of you. You know, it has been busy up the office lately. Well, not lately, more like early. I had to clock in at 6 a.m. this morning. Well, is there anything else I can help you folks with?
No, I think you've helped quite enough.
Well, as my boss always says, that's what we're here for. You folks have a nice day.
I really wonder how he got the park ranger job.
Makes you wonder.
I guess I made a wrong turn somewhere.
Yeah, you want to go that way.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah, and I was really hoping he'd shed some light on this whole footprint thing.
Yeah, I guess that was too much to expect. Well, I've got to get back to work.
That was the coolest thing ever! I love those Messiah warriors.
Yeah, I got some great footage of that.
Great footage, nothing. They told me I could be an honorary member, and all I had to do was buy this cool shirt for $99.99.
Right,
They said I'll have the heart of an impala, an African antelope, run up that hill like no problem.
What about that hat? What did
Look
you
how
get
high I
that?
can jump now.
Impressive storm.
Okay.
What about that hat? Where did you get?
I didn't buy the hat. It came free with my Happy Meal.
Man, I couldn't imagine those warriors playing basketball. They would like jump and stuff like that. I couldn't stop salivating.
That is so gross, Rob.
They really, really liked Catherine.
Well, of course. What's there not to like?
Everyone likes Catherine.
Excuse me, I'm talking. Beautiful smile, lovely blue eyes, a great personality. Everyone loves me.
And besides, they're cannibals.
Excuse me.
Okay, guys, okay. We need to get this interview done. So, can somebody go get Mr. Harper or Terry?
Hey, here's Terry.
Oh, there's Terry.
Come on over, Terry.
We were wondering if we could do an interview for the.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Mr. Harper would want me to do that. He doesn't want any more bad publicity. We've already lost 3 groups.
Well, I'll make a deal with you. We'll do the interview, but we won't use it unless Mr. Harper gives his blessing.
Thank you.
Well, all right. But
Here, I'll take the broom.
do I look okay?
Well, let me see.
Do I use my hat?
I guess it'll be okay. Not quite as good as me.
Don't listen to her. You're fine. You look good.
Well, all of a sudden I think I'm getting quite nervous.
Nervous? That reminds me of the first day I did a weather forecast. I was like, today's sunny, about 80. I threw up all over my
Storm,
stuff.
that is disgusting.
I know, second day was the same thing. It's going to rain today with lots of.
Storm, you're not helping me. I think you should go somewhere else.
Well, I know when I'm not wanted. I'll go sweep.
Now I think I'm really nervous.
It's okay. I'm an award-winning newscaster, and so I know what I'm doing. And guess what? Interviews are my specialty. So you just follow me, and you'll be fine.
Well, I don't know.
Well, don't worry. This is not like live TV. So if you freeze or make a mistake, it's not a problem. We'll just cut around it and stuff.
I never
So-
do that.
Okay, Terry, please, let's get on the road. You stand right here.
Sure. Okay.
Move along. My mic, please.
Here's the mic.
Thank you.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
All right, give me a moment. Gotta clear. All right, I'm ready now. You ready?
Yeah, when you're ready.
Hello, everyone. Catherine Kent here at Camp Kilimanjaro, located at the base of Africa's highest mountain, Mount Kilimanjaro. Today, our focus is on something quite different, though. And to share with us today, we have one of the camp staff. Her name is Terry Underwood.
Wait,
Good morning.
Here we go.
Do you want me?
Again, sir.
Okay, redo. Okay. I can do better this time. Good morning, everyone. This is Catherine Kent here at Camp Kilimanjaro at the base of Mount Kilimanjaro, the highest mountain in Africa. Pretty cool, right? But today, we're talking about something a little bit different. And today with me is Terry Underwood, the staff from the Camp Kilimanjaro. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning.
Can you tell us briefly about what you found the other day?
Yes, I'd be glad to, Catherine. But brace yourself, because what you're about to hear will definitely astound you and may even frighten you. Well, it was a dark and stormy night here at camp. And our guests were having trouble sleeping, but not because of the wind and rain. No, it was the persistent, eerie, howling sound that penetrated the darkness like a knife and set chills up everyone's spines. And although we were told it was just a monkey, we knew somehow in the deep recesses of our mind that it had to be something much larger and much more terrifying. And then we found it, the largest, most hideous footprint ever seen by mortal man, a footprint so dreadful that it was everything we could do to just look at it. So what was it that ventured into our camp on that dark and stormy night? Was it Bigfoot? We may never know. At this point, we can only imagine what the giant creature must have looked like.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Thank you very much. Camera on me, please. Well, I'd say that just about covers it. Thank you, Terry, for that very disturbing account. Well, I guess you can draw your own conclusions. This is Catherine Kent reporting at Camp Kilimanjaro. Back to you at Channel 9.
Cut. Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
Nervous, huh? Thanks for the nightmare.
Sorry, I guess I got a little carried away. I don't know what came over me. Can I go now?
Yeah, sure. We're done. Over here.
Hey, I'll say we're done. I hate being scared.
Oh, that was interesting.
Whew, that sweeping wore me out. What did I miss?
Frankenstein meets the Wolfman.
I got an idea. instead of calling her Underwood, we could call her Undertaker.
All right, everybody, the guide and the
know what that
porters are at
means.
the front gate, and everything's loaded into the vans.
Did you get my white noise machine?
The hot pink white noise machine? Yes, it's on the top bag in
Perfect.
the front pocket.
Thank you.
So we're straight there. So if you're ready, it's time to head out.
Okay.
But about your shoes, Catherine.
Aren't they just fabulous? Don't you love them?
I expected hot pink, though.
Think she'll be able to climb in those? I don't know. Hey, are we really gonna do this? Go up this big mountain?
They're just not looking forward to doing this hike, right?
Man, I'm not. I mean, look at that mountain.
Yeah, it's the highest freestanding mountain in the world where it's 0 degrees at the top and very little oxygen.
Oh, I'm feeling more comfortable now. Thanks, Rob. Listen, next time we do something like this for charity, how about it's us lying on the beach in Hawaii? Well, I'm gonna go get in the van.
Rob, is something wrong?
Yeah, I can't find my backpack.
Oh, that's too bad. Do you need it for the climb?
Well, probably not, but I have the little book of Proverbs in it, and I really wanted to take it.
Oh, so you've been reading it.
Yeah, I've been reading, and I've been thinking about what you said this morning, and I've decided I don't want to be a spiritual sluggard anymore.
That is wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. Well, we've got more Proverbs books, or better yet, in your nightstand in that top drawer, there's a Bible. You can certainly have that, and Terry can look for your backpack while you're gone.
Okay, I'll go do that, but you don't have to wait for me. You can go.
Okay, that's fine. I'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Lord, for what you're doing in his heart. You're amazing.
Hey guys, wait! I found a piece of Bigfoot!
Okay, well, do you think they're going to make it to the top of that mountain yet tomorrow?
Or is Bigfoot gonna attack?
Do you not think they're going to make it?
No,
Bigfoot is going to eat them? Oh my. Okay, well, I think we're going to have to skip over to That's Where Wisdom Begins so that we can get our offering taken. So let's bring, we'll go ahead and sing one verse while they're bringing it, and then we'll do the second verse. Living in darkness, so lost in the night, looking for wisdom and longing for light. Then God called out to me, look to the sun. There on what happened with that R?
I'm gonna tell you that for the week so far, for the industry, our option's been $168.12. So let's go. And I'm telling you, these are heavy today. So you get yours settled and then I will.
Well, maybe they're heavy.
I've been lifting weights. 38, how am I? 38 years. Oh, man.
I know.
Oh, man, no, hang on.
It's gonna be close.
Okay, you ready? We're up. Wait,
Wait,
somebody got these away.
All right, preschoolers can follow Kristen now.
First to third graders. Four to six can move forward.
Television going, Alec, you over here. All right, buddy, there's a white extension cord right here. That's what it's doing. All right, we got the extension cord. We're plugging it in. Guys, what do you think that was? You think that was really a piece of Bigfoot?
Yes. No, it was
Bigfoot
orange
got a
string.
haircut?
It was orange string. No, in the.
And I'll tell you this, I've never gotten anything as good as that helmet in a Happy Meal before. How many of you still eat Happy Meal? My father-in-law bought a Happy Meal once when he was a grown man. He didn't know what it was, but he thought it was the cheapest thing in McDonald's, so that's what he got. All right. Is it turning on yet?
Put on your alpaca. No, not alpaca. Antelope. Yeah. You're right.
There it is. All right. Hey, let me get my. Hey, you guys like my Impala shirt?
Yeah.
I got this from Uganda. It doesn't have buttons on it yet, and I'm glad, because if it did, it wouldn't fit. All the clothes I buy shrink. Have you ever noticed that? You buy something that keeps getting smaller?
No, I'm
Maybe I'm getting bigger.
Yeah.
All right, let me get my microphone on. We're going to be talking today about going up Kilimanjaro. And I don't know if you guys have realized this. It's kind of like I'm preparing you guys. You know, we talked about not swimming with the hippo and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys ever go to Africa, you know, you'll know some of this stuff. Now today we're going to talk about hands. I don't know if you noticed Catherine trying to go up Kilimanjaro in high heels. You think she'd be able to go up a mountain in high heels? Not going to work. Not going to work. But your feet are not the only important thing. I got my wife some hiking boots recently. Got her some good wool socks because that helps to get the moisture away from your feet. But your hands are important in climbing. How important are hands on Kilimanjaro? How many of you have ever been hiking and ended up using your hands? How would that work out? Elliot, why would you need your hands when you're hiking? Hold a hiking stick. That's a good one. Holding it on there. Mr. Tim, Pastor Tim, did you make a hiking stick when you were at wilderness camp? I made a spoon. Okay, you whittled a spoon. Oh my goodness. By the way, if you guys have not been to camp, talk to Pastor Tim about going to camp because it is a marvelous experience. Yes, what else would you use your hands for hiking?
You would use it to steady yourself, or if you fall, like if the path goes on with steep, if it's steep down, you can use your hands.
You grab the tree, you know, to help yourself get down. Yeah, what else? Whittle stuff? Or you're like, I'm going up Kilimanjaro. I need to make a wooden spoon up there. Yeah, Alec? Yeah, sometimes, guys, it's so steep. Imagine me going up the mountain and I'm using this to kind of grab. And can I tell you the truth? When I hike, I've taken some hikes to really high places like that. I went on a hike with my wife that was 10 miles. And by the end, my legs are so tired that even just pulling on a little twig or something on a little tree to help myself get some strength to go up help. And that's true on Kilimanjaro. Now, the situation you have on Kilimanjaro, though, is up at the top. How cold is it up there? 0 degrees. So, ropes are used for climbing aids, keeping groups together. Sometimes you can have the wind blow the snow around and it's really dangerous. And so you'll have a rope so that everybody knows where everyone else is. And the problem is with that frigid weather like that, you really have to protect your hand. You must have extreme weather mittens and gloves. These gloves are made for below 0. I've seen some that are made for the military and they only have one finger out, and that's the finger to be able to shoot the gun if they have to. In fact, our military guns are made so that the trigger guard at the bottom has a piece that comes out. So even with a glove on, they could still have their finger there to be able to use the gun. You know how much gloves like this cost? Over $250 or more. They have goose feathers in them to keep them really warm. And if they don't, guess what? Wounded or lazy hands could cost you your life. This guy got frostbite and they had to cut his fingers off. So when people go up Kilimanjaro or something like that, in fact, I don't know, Tim, if you remember, we often hear in the news about somebody climbing a mountain like this and dying, or they lose a foot or they, from something like that. And so they have to really be prepared. Now, we're going to be talking today about hands. Our key for today, day 1 was listen up. What was day 2? Get up? I'm sorry? Wake up. What was day 3? Anybody see it back there? It was the one about taming our tongue. What's that? Build up. We didn't want to tear people down. We want to build them up. And today is checkup was the one about the heart, wasn't it? Today is wake up. Here's our verse for today. Commit your works to the Lord, Proverbs 16:3. The book of Proverbs talks about a lot of things. It talks about wisdom and foolishness. It talks about not being tricked by alcohol. Pastor Tim or Pastor Dan, there are tons of verses in Proverbs about alcohol, aren't they? There are verses about purity, about not getting involved in a wrong relationship. But there are also lots of verses about working and how you work and how you live your life. Let's take a look real quick. Our key today is wake up, but here's our little pun. No more monkey business. Anybody ever heard that? Hey, cool it with the monkey business. It may have come from that song, 99 monkeys playing on a bed, one fell off and bumped his head. Anybody heard that? Mama called the doctor and the doctor said what? No more monkey jumping on the bed. And so sometimes our parents will say to us, hey, stop the monkey business. Stop playing around. And the question I need to ask myself today is this: do I have hands that get to work? Commit your works to the Lord. I hope you guys, how many memorized the verse yesterday? Almost everybody? I hope you can get it today. It's not very hard. Just say it with me. Ready? Commit your works to the Lord. And hopefully you can memorize it. Now, I love being a teacher because I get to give quizzes and tests. Tests are usually the things that I say, on Friday, there will be a test about what you learned during the week. Anybody ever seen the old Willy Wonka? He said, our test from Friday will now be on Monday before you learn the stuff. Or something like that. It was crazy. But what's the difference between a test and a quiz? Test and a quiz, right here. So did you know you were going to have a quiz today? No. You didn't. So do not answer these questions until I call on you. Here's question number 1. Who created work? Our options. No one created work. It just has always been. The president created work. I didn't say which president. Or God created work. Oh, this was a tough one here. Felix, stand to your feet for this quiz answer. Who do you think created work?
God did.
God created work. Who thinks he's right? Wrong. No, I'm just kidding. God did create work. Look at some of these facts, guys. In Genesis chapter 1 and 2, God is the first person we ever hear about working. It says that for 6 days he created this world, and on the seventh day, what did he do? He rested. Why? Because it had been work. God uses that example through Scripture to tell us that for 6 days we should work, and on the seventh day we should rest. And so God created work. Excellent job, by the way. We'll take the next one from this side over here. When did people first work? People. I'm going to have somebody stand up here. Sean, you get to answer all my questions. Haven, I picked on Katie. Katie, did I understand that you were the sister of Piper? Is that right? Cousin of Piper? Please stand to your feet. She always has a volleyball shirt on. Be a star. That's like Catherine. Wants a star on her door. Now, quit distracting me. Back to our quiz. When did people first work, Katie? The possibilities: in the Garden of Eden, when Jesus was born, or when Noah built the ark. Okay, you may sit down. Let's think about this. When Noah built the ark, he worked for 120 years. That is true, and that was definitely before Jesus was born, but that is not the correct answer. Yes, Megan, stand up. When do you think? Now, how do you defend that? How do you prove that they were working in the Garden of Eden? Hold on. Have you been reading my notes again? How do you know this? Oh, man, that's not even fair. You can sit down. That is correct. In the Garden of Eden, look at this. That exact thing was said here. In the beginning, God created Adam and Eve, put them in the Garden of Eden. He told them to tend to the garden. Oh, tend. That means to take care of them and to care for the animals. It was the very first job. Guys, remember this. This is a very important thing. People think that Genesis is not that important. Know that there was work before sin came into the world. It's not just a result of sin. God wants us to work. He doesn't want us to just have nothing to do. And so he gave them work to do. Another thing like that, put your feet down, Sean, so you don't shake the bench, all right? Another thing, if you don't sit still, I'm going to have to ask you to leave class, and then you'll miss your game time. I think that you're able. Am I right? I am right. Another thing that we find out was created before the fall of man was marriage. God made marriage in the perfect environment of the garden before they had sinned, but we see the consequences of that today. So our score on the quiz is 2-0, but we're going to give you guys a chance to answer another question. Remember from yesterday, we're not going to go, oh, Katie, how could you do that? Remember, because we're going to build up. We're not going to be mean to people, but let's see, before we have the question, was work enjoyable or hard at the beginning? Yes. No, I'm going to go with Caleb. We got to go with the guy. Caleb, stand up here. In the beginning, do you think work was enjoyable or hard? Hard. Would you like to guess again? I'd suggest that you change your guess. Enjoyable. He got it, everyone. I'm sorry, man. That was a tough question. Tough question. Enjoyable. Guys, I have a question. Can you imagine being given a job from God, like naming the animals? Like, Caleb, if you had been Adam naming the animals, what would you have named the elephant? Anybody remember what Winnie the Pooh called an elephant? Hesselunk or something like that. Right, something like that. Listen, guys, work was enjoyable. The other thing is this. We talked about gardening the other day. In the Garden of Eden, he wasn't fighting against weeds. I think there were weeds, but I don't think that they just were the uncontrollable. I think that the weeds, probably because of the fall, became more dominant and taking stuff over. But it was enjoyable. Work was enjoyable. 3-0. We're going to make this question worth 3 points. First person to stand up, don't look yet. On your mark, get set, go. Okay, that was fast. Emily, Here's the question. When did work become harder? After the worldwide flood, that would be with Noah. After Adam and Eve sinned, or after Jesus died and rose again. Which one do you think? You may sit down. Is the score now 6-0 or 3-3? Was her answer correct? Yes. It is, because after Adam and Eve sinned, the effects of sin began to destroy the world. Man began to die. Animals began to die. The world began to decay. You know, evolution thinks that the world's getting better and better and better, but the truth is, it's getting worse and worse. Do you know that there are more sicknesses and diseases today than there were 3,000 years ago? Do you know that more people get cancer and stuff today than way in the past? Because the further we get away from the creation, God creating Adam and Eve, the more problems we have. It's 3-3. We have one final question, I believe. And I wonder, I think we should choose two people. Let's see here. Peyton, have you answered anything today? Stand up, Peyton. I'm going to choose somebody that's really quiet over here. Is that Cameron? Stand up, Cameron. This is a tough question. Now, I am going to cross my eyes and be able to see both of you at the same time. And so when I put the question up here, the first one to raise their hand gets to answer first. On your mark, get set, go. Okay, let's see. After man sinned. Oh, sorry, that was. So do you know what the next question is? She raised her hand. What do you think? Okay. On your mark, you guys close your eyes. Both of you close your eyes. I'm going to read the question and then raise your hand if you think you know the answer. Here it goes. Who is a perfect example of a hard worker? An Olympic, gold medalist, a workaholic, or Jesus? Do we see? We got a hand up over here. Yes, Peyton? Jesus. Good. Yes. Four, what is it? 7-6. Everybody sit down. Jesus is the correct answer. Only Jesus is a perfect example of a hard worker. Think of this. Jesus never sinned. I have to tell you, when I'm working, I've watched people at Walmart, and they're not supposed to be using their cell phone, and they go and they like get behind a bush, and they're like texting somebody. They know where to stand where the cameras don't see them, and you'll see them answer things. I've even heard people say like, that's not fair. They can't take my phone away while I'm at work. And I'm like, I thought you were supposed to be at work. Aren't you supposed to be working while you're at work? Jesus never sinned. He always did what God wanted. You remember in the garden? Father, if possible, take this cup from me. But he said, nevertheless, your will, not mine. He came to serve and to care for others. He would have been the perfect worker in any situation. Now, we're going to take a look at the ant and the sluggard. I need some people to help me read the verses. Let's see here. Sean, stand up. You're going to read verse 1. Emily, you've already answered stuff. Haven, who is this beside you? Is she also a cousin? Another cousin? I didn't ask that, Piper. What is your name? Ellie. Please stand up, Ellie. You're going to read a verse. Let's see here. Rowan, I'm going to have you read a verse. Stand up. And also Addison, I'd like you to read a verse. So we'll start with you here, Sean. Verse number 1.
Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise.
Stop. You may sit down. Ellie, starting right here.
What? No.
Captain. Seer. That's like a boss. Provides. Stop! You may sit down. Rowan, that's a long way away for a guy with glasses. Can you see that? Good job. We're starting right here. Gathers. How? How long? Slumber. That means sleep. Oh, sluggard. Okay. Addison, can you see from there? It's a long ways. Could you read the rest of it for us?
So shall poverty that's a robber that comes to your house. Excellent. Now, fantastic. Now, guys, I have to admit something. I learned something this week. I have been studying the Bible, reading the Bible for a long time. I always thought of a sluggard as a lazy person. But what's the first part of the word?
Slug.
Slug. Does anybody know what a slug is? Yeah, what's a slug? Like a snail and just kind of a worm and just kind of gooey, slimy worm that just sits there. And I had never thought of that. I thought, what a great word to describe a lazy person. You're like a snail and a slimy worm. That wouldn't be a very kind word based on yesterday, but it's accurate today. Let's look what we learned. We learned that ants are hardworking. What was said in those verses that let you know that ants work hard? Megan? They gather food. So during the summer, they're working and they're gathering food and they're putting it away so that in the wintertime, they have food to eat, right? Okay. What else do we find about them that shows us that they are hardworking, Sean? Okay, go to the ant, not the sluggard. He's telling the sluggard, the lazy person, to look at the ant. What else do the ants do that show that they're hardworking? Yes. Actually, 7 times. And it probably depends on the ant. And so they're hardworking and they do that. Here's another thing we hear about the sluggard or the ants. They're responsible. Guys, how many of you would clean your room if your mom didn't tell you to do it? Some of you? Some of us would not. How many of you, let's imagine, okay, Miss Missionary Caris. Okay, I almost called her Carissa. We have a missionary named Carissa. Caris, if your kitchen had something that you just had unlimited plates and stuff and you never had to wash them and you put them in the sink and they just disappeared, would you be okay with that? I'd be like, this is awesome. But the ants, they don't have anybody saying, you know what tells you to wash dishes? The pile as it gets bigger. And you're like, has anyone seen the kitchen sink? I can't find it. It's under all these dishes, right? The ants don't have anybody telling them what to do. We had ants in Brazil, guys, that were cutting ants. And I bet you had them in Cameroon. That you'd hear something and you go out and it's like it's snowing. And there's this stuff falling down from the leaves in the tree. And there's ants up here going, cut a piece, boo, there it falls down to the bottom. At the bottom were other ants picking up 7 times as much as they weigh, like, oh, I'm going to carry this back to the place. Around them were the bigger ants, and they had big, huge pincers, and they're like, anybody messes with my working buddies, I'm going to bite you. My first experience with them, I heard it in the leaves. And I was like, Linda, something's walking in the leaves outside our house. And so I went out there with my flashlight, and I'm walking along thinking there's a bad guy out there, a prowler. And all of a sudden, I look in and my feet. And I put the light on my feet, and all these ants were like clamped into my feet. There are places that they use those pinchers like that for stitches. They push the skin together, and they put an ant on it, cut his head off, and that ant will sit there holding on. It's terrible. It was so painful. My foot would bleed when I took them out. I'm not just talking on the surface. It was like a deep bite. But the ants do all this. Nobody's telling them what to do, but they work hard. They're such a great example. They're also disciplined. They don't like, hey, today's Sunday. Don't think we're going to work today. They should learn from God to rest on Sundays, I think, right? But the ants, they were hard workers. Let's think, though, by comparison of the sluggard. Isn't that a great picture of a sluggard? What's the stuff the sluggard's doing here? Caleb, what do you see right here? He's watching television. I remember one time saying to my mom, sorry, Mom, can't take the trash out. My favorite cartoons are on. My dad came and taught me then my favorite cartoon was not an excuse. Paddled me. Okay, how about this right here, Katie? What's he have down here in front of him? Pop and chips. He's eating popcorn. You know, like, sorry, Mom, I can't go do that right now. I'm eating some more microwave popcorn, sitting on the couch. If this, ooh, guys, I'm going to choose one of the guys to pick on now. Let's see, Elijah. What is that up sitting on his leg? I think a slug has a leg. What's this sitting right here? Can you see? That's a long way away. Can you see it right there? What is it? A video game. You can sit back down. Guys, all the young men, look at me. I have 5 daughters. One of my fears for my daughters getting married is that they'll marry a young man that all he wants to do is play video games. I know guys that are 25 or 30 years old and they can't keep a job because they're so excited about video games that they still just live with their parents. And I just want to encourage you guys, be careful, because we think, hey, no, but I'm playing video games with my friends. You know, this is social outreach for me. No, it's not. It's laziness. Some games is okay. I play some games. Alien Invader is my favorite. I get to like shoot the ships coming in. But we have to be careful that we're not lazy like the sluggard. Let's go on. Personal application. What is something that you put off doing? You don't like to do, and so you just, keep putting it off. Emily? Piano lesson. Maybe if I just wait, the piano will fall through the floor and disappear. And you sit there, and your mom probably tells you to do it, and you sit there doing nothing, and she says, start the timer over again. And if you just start it and get it done, it'd be done. Emma?
Cleaning my room.
Cleaning your room. If I put it off, maybe all my dirty clothes will just disintegrate. Okay? Haven? You act like you don't hear her? Okay, guys, here's something good for us all to say. Shame on you. You know, people say that sometimes we have selective hearing. Mom's like, I just made dipped Oreos if anyone wants one. You're like, I heard my mom from 3,000 miles away. I'm like, yes, I want one of those fried Oreos. But if she's like, clean your room, get the dishes, you're like, sorry, Mom, I can't hear you. I don't know what happened. Right? And guys, what does God call that? Laziness and lying and disobedience to parents. But thank you for saying it, because you want to know the truth. All of us do that. We all have things like that we don't do. I don't like paying my taxes. I put it off. This year I got to put it off until April 15th. And then they said, you don't have to do it till July 15th. Like, yeah, wait until July 15th. And then I'm like, I'm hoping for Corona 96 so that, another one will put off my taxes again. Keep putting it off. Let's keep going on. Do you ever make excuses to get out of work? What kind of excuses do you make to get out of work? Anybody ever do that? Yeah. I'm sick, Mom. I can't clean my bed. Oh, we're going to go swimming. I feel better. Wow, it's amazing. Mom, they say that sun's really bad for you. If I go out in the sun, I could get a sunburn. Okay, so you can't go swimming? Oh, no, the sun won't get me when I'm swimming. We make excuses. Yeah, Sean?
Oh, my leg hurts. I felt like
Oh, I twisted my ankle. I can't do it. Let's go on. Are you working for just yourself or for God? Guys, if you stop to think about that. Now, I have 2 mothers in here, my wife and also Karis, right? Are there any things about being a mother that get old and boring? Laundry. As soon as you finish washing all the laundry, guess what? There's more dirty laundry. Linda, what else? Okay, so you dust, and there it is, falling again. You make a meal, you clean it up, and it's time for the next meal. Guys, I am so grateful that my wife is not a sluggard, or our house would be a wreck. And so this is not something just for kids, it's for all of us. And we do it because you're serving God. Sometimes I think my wife has to say to herself, okay, this is for God. I'm going to keep doing this because I know I'm serving God. Is there anything that needs to be cleaned up around your room or your home? How many of you have ever walked in your house and you're like, whoa, can't believe the dogs got into our trash. It's spread everywhere. But you walk right past it thinking maybe mom will pick it up because mom loves to pick up trash, right? Or have you ever, you know what I'm talking about? You see something. I went into my office last week and there was a Tootsie Roll, big Tootsie Roll wrapper. And I was like, I cannot believe that Chris hasn't picked that up coming to work. And I went by the next day and I was like, he still hasn't picked that up. And then I went, I haven't picked it up either. And I bent down and picked it up. And so we have to have that attitude. Yes, Miss Emily. If you see a need, do it. My wife is often saying to our children, take initiative. Take initiative. Let's go to the last one. Talk to God and ask Him to help you to be a hard worker for Him. Guys, make it a prayer request. Pray, God, help me to be a hard worker in school, in home, at church, learning your verses today in VBS. We need to be a hard worker so that we are not like the sluggards. The sluggards, all right? Everybody stand up. Follow Miss Linda to go do...
Stand up. Stand up. You guys remember the song? Yeah. All right. Hi. My name is Joe. I have a wife and 2 kids and a house and a dog and I work.
Where do you work?
At the button factory.
At the button factory.
One day, my boss came up to me and said, Hey Joe, are you busy? I said no. Push this button with your left hand. Hi. My name is Joe. I have a wife and 2 kids and a dog and a house and I work.
Where do you work?
At the button factory.
At the button factory.
One day, my boss came up to me and said, Hey Joe, are you busy? I said no. Push this button with your right hand. Hi. My name is Joe. I have a wife and 2 kids and a dog and a house and I work.
Where do you work?
At the button factory.
At the button factory.
One day, my boss came up to me and said, Hey Joe, are you busy? I said no. Push this button with your left foot. Hi. My name is Joe. I have a wife and 2 kids and a dog and a house and I work. At the button factory. One day, my boss came up to me and said, Hey Joe, are you busy? I said no. Push this button with your right foot. Hi. My name is Joe. I have a wife and 2 kids and a house and a dog
going to be who you are? No, you're going to be the wise man. Here we go.
So listen up, get out of bed, and never be a sleepyhead.
Go to work.
Our God has given much to do. We must work hard till life is through. Be on the board, give God your best. Work hard all day and take your rest. Give all you got while it is day, and never let me hear you say. On the street, I better stay in bed. There's a tiger on the roof, I better rest my head. The sheets are smooth, the day is tough. My pillow's soft and life is rough. Oh, how I love my sleep. And there's a lion in the street.
Yes, and there's a lion in the street. So, who's ahead today? The cheetahs? The monkeys?
Oh, everyone have a seat. All right, there's a team today with 2,360 points, and there's a team today with 2,435 points. So there was looks like a 75-point difference today. And the winner for today is the Mighty The lead by 40 points, which if I'm right, that's only 4 Bible verses. So
Who's ahead, Kristen? Who's ahead?
The Mighty
Took the lead today. Did we have a good day at Kilimanjaro? Stand up and let's sing. Here we go. Kilimanjaro, Mount Kilimanjaro.
Get ready for adventure, for excitement is at hand. We're going on safari to a wild and distant land.
Mount Kilimanjaro.
From the plains of Serengeti to the jungles deep within, and to the highest mountain, our adventure now begins.
Out Mount Kilimanjaro. Here we go.
We'll journey into Africa and join its mighty chorus. Join wisdom from the words of life that God has laid before us. Strap up, let's go.